All right, this is the kind of thing I'm looking for at pivot extremes, where it's sweeping a pivot low from days and even weeks away. It's hitting this low right here. It's hitting a low several weeks away over here. All right, this is the MNQ. You can see right here that it's hitting this low, and that's several weeks away. So what I'm looking for is a pattern to develop, a breaker block pattern, where it sweeps lower and creates a displacement move to the upside. That displacement move has not happened yet. And when it does finally happen, we're looking for fair value gaps to the upside to stay valid and fair value gaps to the downside to be disrespected. You see this red fair value gap right here, the box that it's in? It came up into it from this sweep. It came up into it, and then it didn't sell off. It's disrespected. So I'm hoping that this high gets taken out right here, and then it creates a fair value gap that is open, that will give us a retest, and perhaps it will respect it to the upside, and we'll have found our bottom for the day, at least temporarily. All right, here's the 1 minute chart. We can't really see any of that stuff taking place. But on the 15-second chart we can, and this is for a scalp. But the overall picture, even if we are bearish, is that this low has been taken now, and we could look for a turtle soup trade to the upside. A turtle soup trade that I'd want to find a validation form pattern on the 15-second chart. I'm not just going to jump in it there, although there's two pintails right here that you might have been able to use that first pintail as your stop loss, and when it came down, jumped in it near that pintail, and you would have had a tight little stop loss. That's one way of playing it. You need two candles. One's your stop loss and one's your entry. If we had done that over here, we could have made it all the way to the 8 EMA on that trade, and made it to the 8 EMA on this trade here too. So it would have worked. It's something I'm still working out in my mind. Right now on the 15-second chart, I do not see a very good, I guess there's one right here if you want to count that, right at the actual low of that was swept. There's a tiny little fair value gap on the 15-second chart. So I don't even know. We'll see if it comes down to this line again, what happens. There it goes, passing right through it, testing it. I could have jumped in there on that using either that candle as my stop loss or the bottom as my stop loss. So right there would be my stop loss right there, and I could jump in it. There it goes, testing it a second time and back up. What I'm trying to do is scalp, but I missed it. I missed it because that would have been a scalp right there, trying to get in as it comes down. All right, so what do we have? This fair value gap right here on the 15-second chart so far is holding. So far it's holding. And if it closes down below these pivots that are newly created here and closes down, a candle way down here and closes, then it would be invalid. But it looks like it's holding. It does. But I can't tell. It's chopping around so much that I can't tell. I guess I should, if I'm going to scalp, I'd want to jump in in this area here, anywhere in this area here, and use the bottom of these as my stop loss. So any one of these candles would have been a good idea. As soon as it triggers me in, my stop loss is here. And as soon as it goes up 2 to 1, which it did, I would have went to break even, and I'd still be in this trade for profit. And if it fails, I broke even right there. I would have broke even right there. Okay. And even now, there's still a chance that the fair value gap's going to hold. It's still holding. It's not really closing below it yet. And we're still waiting to see. So this whole time that I'm talking here, our chances to get long on the bottom half. I guess I'm still trying to work it out psychologically and emotionally in my mind how I would take this trade and how I would scalp it, how soon I would move my stop loss, where my stop loss would be, what's my target, and still trying to work all that out as I'm making this video. Now that would be a stop out or a break even. And it did close below the fair value gap on some of these candles. That one was a big push down though. So now this whole idea right here seems to be too choppy for me to make my understanding out on it. But there were some good scalp opportunities. It's just chopping around in this low that it swept already. It made that it's lunchtime too, don't forget. So this might not be at all the time to be trading. I forgot about that. But if it wasn't lunch, just on the basis of the pattern and the location Of course, you have to always include time and location, time and price, which, time, the time is not the time to trade. That's probably why we're getting all this choppiness. But the pattern, the breaker block, the displacement, the fair value gap, and the attempt to scalp for a move to the upside is all still very valid in my mind, at least as I'm working these kinds of trades out psychologically. I like what I'm seeing. I like how the ideas are playing out, and it's just so choppy here at lunchtime right here that it could have been very, very difficult to impossible for some people to trade. That's why I didn't jump in it. But I can see where I could have made money on this trade, and see how it went over the top of the highs here, and it went down over the highs here. That's telling me it kind of wants to go up. It's sweeping and sweeping and kind of consolidating. It's accumulating right here for a move up. But anyway, just wanted to articulate that on a video so that I can watch it and get it more familiar in my mind.